currently. For today, we're going to have a virtual agenda. If you go on Radar Connect, and if you do want to follow it through our agenda, it's on our student government page, and it's under, it should say running agenda here. I'll try to show you guys. Yeah, if you guys want to follow along, I'm not sure if all of you can see it from here, but from Radar Connect. So you go on this page, and then there should be under description, it says view running agenda here, and you just click on that, and then you'll see our agenda for today. But other than that, I can say thank you for coming. Good afternoon. It's nice to see some familiar faces and some new faces, and some friends. Well, yeah, thank you for coming. And just for right now, if we could go kind of clockwise and introduce ourselves, or actually we can introduce ourselves first.
I feel like you guys do that every meeting.
Yeah, I messed that up every meeting. Maybe I'll do it right one time, but I'm Alex Miranda. I'm the president of student government.
Nick Thomasman, I'm the communications director.
Ashley, advisor.
If we want to go kind of clockwise and say our major or something, first name major. Yeah.
My name is Zoe. My major is art and I'm the president of Standout.
My name's Spencer, major is computer science, and I'm the president and founder of the Arts Club.
My name's Tara. I'm majoring in exercise science and I'm the president and founder of the Fitness Club.
My name is Katya. I'm a psych major and I'm the secretary for Psi Beta.
My name is Yasmina. My major is environmental science and I'm the vice president of Nice Rocks.
My name is Michaela. I'm a geology major and I'm the president of the geology club.
My name is Sharia. My major is aerospace engineering and I'm the secretary of science.
Oh, my name is Hunter. I'm majoring in mathematics and I'm the president of chess club.
My name's Walker. I'm majoring in political science and I'm the treasurer of the school.
And Brayden, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Brayden. I'm majoring in management security, and I'm the president of the city school.
And we usually have Michael Zazzo, our vice president. He's on Zoom right now. He's feeling sick. Not sure if you want to say anything, Michael, but
He says hi there. I'm Michael Zazzo, vice president of Student Go. Under the weather today. Sorry for not being there in person.
yeah, well, that's us. Thank you for coming once again, and we can get right into it. So on our second point is student government updates. We have a few updates to give right now. Our November newsletter is sent out. It was sent out last Friday. It's basically just information from student government that we think is useful for you. It's full of events, full of external opportunities, spreading the word about what we're doing. And yeah, it's our third newsletter that we sent this semester. It's our first time doing it this semester. So yeah, we hope that it reached all of you guys and that it's running well.
How would you find it?
It should be sent like automatically to you through via email. Have you not gotten it yet?
I mean, I haven't really checked, but I was just
Yeah.
wondering.
Yeah, it should be sent to all students via email. I think the opening word should be like welcome to November or something. But yeah, it should be. If it isn't, please let us know and we'll send that to you.
Did anybody get that email?
And then our second update is student government is invited to the Academic Governing Council this Tuesday, so tomorrow. They'll be discussing grading procedures policies, college-sponsored student travel, and maximum student credit hour load per semester. I'm the only student a part of that team, so I'll keep you guys updated on what we discuss. But yeah, it's nice to have representation. Was there anyone in the virtual meeting who had some comments?
No, thank you.
Thank you. Our third point is our next steering committee meeting is this Wednesday. If you guys have attended our town hall before, you know, we've been talking about the natatorium renovation in the Ford Field House. It's an ongoing conversation. It's very early in conversation. It's going to extend to 2025. So yeah, once again, student government was invited to be to have student representation at those meetings. I'm the only student there. So I'll keep you guys updated on that. Fourth update is next week, Monday, we're presenting to the Board of Trustees. It's similar to this in which we give updates. It's probably like 5 minutes or 10 minutes. It's live streamed. If you guys want to tune into that, you can. And our last update is for our next town hall, Jeff Vanderveen and Amanda Cruzono will attend to discuss our current learning management system, which is Blackboard. To get your guys' opinion, it might potentially change, it might not, but yeah, we just want to hear students' input on the current system we have right now. Yeah, that's all for right now. Are there any comments, questions, concerns from the virtual audience as well? All right. Well, with that being said, I'll pass it on to Nick for allocation requests.
Sure, allocation requests. So the first one that came in, comes from Psi Beta, who's here today, right? Yes. They're asking for $450 for a general psychology tutoring session with a meal. Do you wanna tell us about that?
Yeah, so, Psi Beta is like the National Honor Society for Psychology students, and the chapter here, it's my first year joining, but they told us that last year they had a study night where all psychology students were invited to kind of study for their final exam, and you know, if they need help with anything, that the people who kind of run Psi Beta, we can help tutor them and just help with anything they need. And so last year they had about like 30 to 35 people attend. So it was pretty successful. It was a few hours long. And we want to put on the event again this year. And so we're asking for $450, which would cover catering for our event. And I just want to explain the number a little bit because it's a little high. We are trying to use the GRCC catering here. So that's why it's a little bit higher. I know last year, the funds for the meal or food provided were lower, but because we were encouraged to use the catering at GRCC, we looked through and we decided on a buffet menu. And it comes out to like $12 per person, and we're expecting like 30-35 people. But yeah, that includes like a meal, a drink, a dessert. So we really just want to provide like a good event for people to, you know, study and feel welcome, like they're not struggling with the meal, and yeah, just prepare for the exam.
How long is the event going to be?
Yeah, we're looking from like 2 to 3 hours long. And it would be, again, welcome to anyone taking their general psychology course, which I believe is a requirement for students to take a gen psych course. So yeah, whoever is enrolled currently is welcome to come, and we'll spend like 2 to 3 hours tutoring, playing games, like educational games or whatever. Yeah.
And then Michael in the chat said, I endorse the Psi Beta allocation request. I've actually heard of this event before and had good feedback. Great event on campus. I like it.
Yeah.
You briefly mentioned it right now, but just to make it clear, could you clarify why it isn't a public event for the student body?
Yeah, really, we are just focusing on a tutoring event for psychology students. Well, not like psychology majored students, but people taking that course, this semester. And so, I mean, people are welcome to come, you know, I guess if they want to just come and chill with us while we tutor and study. Really, it's just like a big community study session. But like we said, we just want to provide like, you know, food security in our event for that night, so. Yeah, you guys are welcome to come, I don't know, but yeah,
Are you planning on doing registration for the event, or is it just open to students that?
it's just
Stop.
open, yeah, whoever wants to come can come. Like I said, the 30 to 35 number is based on the attendance last year. So, hopefully we get those numbers, and if we have extra meals, we can always give them away to whoever comes by, whoever's there. So yeah, it's just, I think, a good event, the whole.
Any further discussion? Okay, I vote to approve this allocation.
Looks like Michael wanted to approve it as well, so it's approved. The motion is approved.
Thank you.
We'll put down to Raider Connect and then we'll follow up with next steps.
Thank you.
We'll take on a second one.
Yeah, sorry, I'm also trying to take the meeting minutes. Okay, the next allocation request comes from the chess club. They're asking for $980 for one DGT chessboard, which is on sale this week. Would you like to tell us more about that?
Well, in chess, when you play chess, you want a nice board. So if you really like, let me contrast this or compare to a book. If you really like a book, are you gonna buy a soft cover book? Or are you gonna buy a hardcover that will last a really long time? So the purpose of having a really nice chessboard is that if everybody that comes by like, wow, look at that beautiful chessboard, let's maybe more people will join the club. So, and then we can possibly play more games that will automatically be recorded on a computer, so we can analyze it and we can get better. And chess is highly correlated with increasing your intelligence. I remember when I first started playing, I was horrible at math and reading, and then afterwards, like, wow, this is a lot easier now. So I think we have a beautiful chessboard. We can do a lot.
Spencer?
Yeah, so is the only purpose of this chessboard that it's beautiful? That it's like-
I think most of the cost is that it takes a lot to hook it up to a computer for you to analyze it. So,
I could also chime in with the fact that, we're intending to use this chessboard as well as our other DGT board, in potential future events, next semester now, since we didn't get our allocation request passed. We absolutely, Brian analyzed, the different chessboards, including the one that was offered up last time, as a potential alternative. And we realized that it wouldn't be possible because, the Bluetooth, the way it works is the software that runs the DGT board, what actually makes it a DGT board, can't be on more than one computer. So it has to be on Brian's computer, and Brian is absolutely not allowed to give his computer to anyone else because it contains so much sensitive information. So we can't buy a different DGT board. It has to be a Bluetooth DGT board. So I didn't know that at the time, otherwise I would have said that. That's why we can't go for a different DGT board on this. This is the only DGT board that we can use without violating policy at GRCC.
Yeah, for the ones who weren't here for the last town hall, the chess club previously requested, I forget the exact figure, but it was more than $1,000, which made it a public vote. That ultimately didn't pass, but
After a lengthy conversation about the chessboards and about the chess club and about the tournament and the event, this is I would call this a compromise, that they didn't get what they initially asked for and looked at what they needed in order to accomplish their goals as a club and resubmitted this request.
Yeah, I think a common consensus from our last town hall was maybe get one board for now, and it seems like that's what you guys are doing now. And this is on Black Friday, it's a Black Friday sale, so I think it's usually around 1,300 or something.
Yeah,
Well, you guys are getting a steal on this.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Where are the chessboards?
Yeah, and Michael says in the chat, while I personally endorse this chess club allocation request for the reasons I mentioned before at the last town hall, there is a conflict of interest with me voting on this particular allocation due to my membership of the chess club. For that reason, I must abstain from this vote. Also, hi Hunter, great to see you. This dude is fantastic. So Michael's abstaining from his vote, so it'll be Nick.
Yeah, I don't see any reason not to approve this allocation request, so I'm in favor of approval.
I have a question. Kim Buddy out here in virtual land. I just have a couple questions. I didn't, wasn't in the previous one, the meeting, and was different prices or different games presented, different brands? By chance, was that presented to the?
I believe it was the same brand, the same chessboard. I'm pretty certain of that. It's just that there's only one, not three.
Yeah, Kim, to clarify, we already own one chessboard of this same brand, and so they were looking for the compatibility in the same brand.
Oh, okay, got it. What brand is that?
It's the actual DGT brand.
Is it-
Yeah, House of Stone.
Okay. All right. I have that pulled up right now and I'm just seeing a vast different pricing, just all over the place. So that's why I was curious.
Yeah, the reason for this particular version is because it's has Bluetooth capability. And the problem with a DGT board that doesn't have Bluetooth capability is that we can only, because of copyright reasons, we can only have the software on one computer. And that would be Brian's computer, which also has sensitive information on it. So it has to be a Bluetooth computer because he can't give it to us. And he also can't not be doing his job. So that's why the Bluetooth works. So he can have his computer running the program, but also not the actual event as long as he's within proximity to it, which he will be because the event's
Bluetooth. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. I was just curious as to, because I'm just seeing such a vast range of pricing along with the Bluetooth and the electronic version. So as long as, the due diligence was presented and, everybody's okay with that, I'm okay with that since you answered those questions.
Yeah, I linked in the chat as well, the Zoom chat, the specific board they're requesting. They put in their allocation request. So if you wanted to look at that, it's in the chat.
Got it. Thank you.
But yeah, at our last town hall, there were many opinions and views on why can't this board work? Why can't this $500 board work? And ultimately, it seems like this is the only board that works.
Which for the purpose of our events, and Hunter can attest to this, a simul is better with more boards you have. We would much rather, if we could, get a bunch of cheaper DGT boards. That would be the preference for the purpose of the event. It's just not possible. We could not do it because of Brian's computer again, and needing to get the software ChessBase. So this is how we've had to compromise, because I suggested to Brian, could we try and figure something out with getting a few of the cheaper ones and just disregard the Bluetooth? He said we can't because the ChessBase has to be on his computer and we can't have access to his computer. So
I wonder if we could work with IT to allot a computer for your club.
we discussed that. They said that that was
a possibility.
It would be highly unlikely because that computer would have to be from Chess's computer, because it couldn't be used for other things because the ChessBase is on that. And apparently, I don't know, the cost of getting a computer would also be more than the cost of the chessboard. So,
See, Michael said that board they would expect to have would be this actual board. Not necessarily, however, if we want to play in tournaments against other colleges, then it'd be much easier to put them online and it'd be good for the club out there.
Yeah, and that's why it's a DGT board, so that we can actually have an event like that, otherwise it's not. Anyway,
It kind of makes you locked into that, right? So do you foresee that in the future of being locked into this, only can do this versus that?
well, this is the board that can do everything, essentially, so it doesn't like limit our capabilities particularly.
Okay. All right. I was just thinking of, future discussions and future needs or wants.
I think part of the problem there is that this is based on a past decision to purchase this exact chessboard. And so we would be going backwards if we started over. Like they already have one, they're asking for a second one so they can do more events. And so instead of asking for 2 or 3 new chessboards and they're just asking for this one to accompany the one we've already got.
Right.
Yep.
And there's the syncability thing there, and also the Bluetooth being different than us, trying to get like allocated computers specifically for chess club, which would be fine if we thought that we could do that and it would be easier than this. Brian seemed to think that was gonna be actually more difficult. So otherwise, theoretically, that would be the alternative solution. I mean, if this allocation doesn't pass, then we could look into that route.
Yeah,
as well.
I'd say like explore that just to rule it out if it hasn't been.
And still, we could do that even if we get more and more chessboards, so there'd be no issue with that. But yeah, I mean, for people who don't know what a simul event is, I did explain last time. It's when someone like Hunter is playing multiple games at the same time. That's why you need multiple boards, because otherwise it's not simul, it's not simultaneous. Anyway, yeah.
Understanding that we spent a decent amount of time on this at the last town hall, I don't want to cut anybody off. Does anybody else have thoughts on this? Okay.
Well, Michael abstained and
I vote to approve.
wants to approve, and I vote to approve as well, so the allocation is approved.
How much funding is left?
That's a great question that we would love to ask our treasurer, but we don't have a treasurer.
We
I
don't.
think
That's good.
roughly,
I thought someone from Foreign Affairs Club was.
he had applied, but it didn't work out.
Oh, did I?
Just
So
scheduling conflict.
we are still actively seeking, although we have had interviews for the treasurer position. It would start in the next semester. And we also are supposed to have like a budget training and budget session with Sheena from Student Life. That will help us determine these things. But to answer your question, I don't exactly know how much money is left.
And she is out of the office, but she does have all this tracked. I was hoping to see an update because she's out. I don't have access to that.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask. Like, is there anybody overseeing the budget currently?
Sheena, but not in this capacity, right? Because she's not a student.
Okay.
So really just helping with the bare minimum.
Michael said about 15 grand-ish.
Yasmin, I saw your hand.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask, like, the budget, does that include next semester as well, or are we just?
This.
Yeah, a brief, before we move on to the next allocation request, a brief update about, for the people who were here at our last town hall, we've been having conversations about how much money is allocated to clubs and just the entire voting procedure and allocation request. And we decided to take the rest of the semester to formulate a plan. And for the winter semester, we'll come up with a resolution and a new bylaw for our constitution, since it's way more complex than we thought initially, so.
Is this for the voting issue?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we tried to bring something like a resolution, but ultimately there's a lot of differing opinions, and yeah, we just want to make this right, since it's bigger than our e-board. If it's in our constitution, it'll be for years to come, and obviously it can be revised, but, yeah, we're gonna take the rest of the semester to revise that and present it next semester. Yeah, Nick, if you want to continue the application requests.
Sure. The yoga club has put in two separate allocation requests. $395 for a Christmas party event. And a second allocation request for $150 for a wagon. And I apologize, but the yoga club's not here, correct? No. Right. So there's not really an opportunity for them to present on this. So we'll just go off of what it says in their allocation requests. The first one for $395. Their anticipated attendance is around 20 people. And they're planning to create more community around the theme of yoga. By offering a Christmas party, we invite more people to become familiar with the yoga club outside of a yoga context. Yoga benefits students by refreshing their mind and body so they can return to their studies more energy, peace, and longevity. We want to connect and get to know one another. The breakdown of costs. Sorry, open now. Includes supplies, food, cookies, pop, and giveaways for the event, including yoga socks, mini candy canes, and then games and decorations. The total allocation amount at $395. They plan on having RSVPs for the event, and if fewer people sign up, then the budget could potentially be less. Any discussion?
So you mentioned supplies, do they talk about what exactly they'll need for supplies?
Yeah, they have mini skewers, a serving plate, and plates listed under supplies.
And is there, I guess where is most of this allocation going? Is it toward the food?
Food.
Is it, okay. I'm guessing it's because it's they're trying to use campus catering as well.
It does not look that they're not, and it says here specifically, food purchased from Meyer through shipped.
I'll add now that they reached out to me this morning asking more about the food. And I clarified that first preference has to go to creative dining, to your point. In the instance that they can't fill the order, then they can go off-site.
Right. And that's just a general guideline for all clubs, that if GRCC makes it, if our food department makes it, we should order it from them. So since we can get pizza from GRCC, we get pizza from GRCC, etc. If you want to have, say, Indian food or something that we don't offer on campus, that's when you go outside of it. Yeah.
I do want to add that, we were able to get the JRCC catering menu somewhere. I don't know where we got it from, but it is out there and you can look at all of what they offer.
Yeah.
With all the prices and everything, so.
I believe it's on Raider Connect. But we probably have to do some digging, just like everything else here. It takes a little bit of effort to get the reward there.
I did have another question that's kind of unrelated to the allocation, but it's what date is this supposed to be on? Because Arts Club is also thinking about hosting a winter holiday party, so we don't want to conflict with that.
It would be December 4th from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m.
Okay,
So
what day of the week is that?
it's Monday.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah. And Michael said in the chat, Yoga Club has only been to one town hall event according to our spreadsheet on club attendance. I don't find it fair that we approve this allocation if they are not participating on campus, considering it's a written rule in our guidelines. I personally will be voting to deny both allocations. Good news is that we have 2 votes to consider, still have 2 votes to consider. So that's Michael's vote of denying it.
Well, I'm gonna disagree with Michael's, statement here that they're not participating on campus since they host a weekly yoga event that's open to all students. They're also active in Rate of Connect and they follow all the correct protocol and budget allocation requests, so I would vote to approve this.
Yeah, likewise, I've seen their activity on campus and I know that they try to come to our town halls, but it's very conflicted, but they have been to a couple, 1 or 2. Yeah, so I would vote similarly to approve this allocation. Yeah,
What's the wagon for?
for the supplies. It's,
Yeah, last semester, we approved an allocation request for like yoga mats and other like related yoga equipment that she has to transport at every session.
Yeah, we have like big buckets and.
Basically, one of these like carts that's behind the stairs is kind of what they're looking for.
I just have a question.
Sure.
If a club puts forward 2 allocation requests, are those treated as one allocation request or as 2 separate?
Those are 2 separate allocation requests.
yeah, so right now we voted for first allocation request. Well, Michael already put his vote for both of them, but, Michael said I wasn't aware of those things, my bad, in chat. But yeah, for the first allocation request of $395 for the yoga club party, the motion is approved. And we can move to the second allocation request of the $150 for the wagon. Are there any thoughts on that? It's just a wagon for supplies. I think it carries 450 pounds. Of supplies. Personally, I vote to approve it as well. Nick,
Yeah, I vote to approve that.
it's like Michael already voted no for both, so with that being said, the motion is approved. So it looks like all 3 of our allocation requests this town hall have been approved. We'll be in contact with you guys and congrats on you guys' CGT for it. We can move on to the conversation portion now. We are continuing our conversation from our last town hall. For the people who weren't here last town hall, we were asking questions about our current learning management system, which is Blackboard, and what you guys think of Blackboard, your experiences with Blackboard. Do you like Blackboard? Yeah, we're continuing that conversation. My first question for you guys is, in what ways has Blackboard helped you learn the best in the course? Or specifically, not even Blackboard, how has like Google Classroom, or if you've used Canvas before, how has those systems helped you learn the best in the course? Anyone give you guys time to think, maybe 10 seconds? If not, I'll go first, but yeah, any initial reactions right now?
I have a comment. This is Kim Buddy. Sorry, I was having difficulty at the initial meeting, so I didn't say who I was or anything, but I'm with PTK. And so I'm not sure if I have to tell you that, but any case, I have not had too many issues with Blackboard. What I have had a problem with Blackboard is sometimes submitting an assignment and the professor not getting it, not receiving it, but it's showing it on my end, and I've reported it. But other than that, I don't mind Blackboard at all. It's very user friendly, and I don't know what other options you guys are looking at. I've not used any of the other ones, so I don't have an opinion on that. But for Blackboard, I've used it for 2.5 years, and I've not had any issues other than just those couple assignments.
Yeah, for background, for the people who aren't aware, this conversation portion is from the result of student government being invited to discuss the potential of changing Blackboard or replacing Blackboard, or maybe not doing anything at all. We're just seeing if Blackboard is the right software for GRTC, and we want to hear directly from students if Blackboard is the ideal option for students. So,
Oh, that's
yeah.
helpful. Thank you.
Yep. Spencer?
So overall, I mean, I'd say Blackboard is a pretty good software. Like I haven't encountered any like debilitating issues while using it, but like I don't know if I would say that I've like learned anything necessarily as a result of Blackboard. It's just kind of it gets the job done, you know?
I've noticed my teachers haven't really used it, like, at least this semester. I know that like with art classes, they grade things a bit differently than regular classes, like other classes, because there's a way, like, we can like resubmit things after we submitted them and our grades can change. Or there's also the pronoun thing sucks. I've already mentioned it, but it's not a great system. It's a system, but not the greatest.
Yeah, from our last conversation on this in our last town hall, personally in my statistics class, my professor does not use Blackboard at all. Like it's really just a sheet of paper. You write down your test scores, and at the end of the year, that's your grade.
Wow.
So yeah. Wow.
But
Yeah,
doesn't that just come more so down to the professor's personal like choice? Like
yes.
not,
It's
yeah.
really up to the professor, and I mean, if it works for them, kudos to them. But
My professor is the head of the art department and he doesn't really use Blackboard, so.
cool. Yeah, I mean, I brought that up last week at our meeting for this, and they were shocked. They were like, maybe a little concerned. But yeah, I mean, it works for some teachers, it doesn't work for others, so. Yeah,
Oh, for me, whenever I submit something to the app on my phone, it just doesn't even submit. I have to literally email it to myself, download it on my computer, and then submit it on my computer. So maybe there's something wrong with the app, maybe not the software. That's the only issue that I've had.
and just to see everyone and their opinion, who here likes Blackboard? Raise your hand. Who feels indifferent to Blackboard? Who doesn't like Blackboard? Okay, cool. Michaela,
Has this conversation been brought directly to teachers yet?
the teachers, I know teachers are involved in the meetings we have about this, but it's very early in the conversation, but yeah, there are teachers in the meetings we have, but I don't know directly if we have direct input from teachers yet, but
they will, yes.
Yeah.
The purpose of this is to establish, is this the best learning system for GRCC? And they've asked us to ask students because we represent the students. So I'm sure they will also ask the teachers for that input. And if they haven't yet, it's only because they're concentrating on gathering student feedback first.
Yeah, my feelings towards it are that I shouldn't raise my hand for indifferent, but I feel I used Google Classroom in high school and it's really no different. Honestly, it's probably less advantages as Blackboard is. But like I take a chemistry class right now and our professor does use the test portion of that. And he's complained about how difficult it is to write answers in for the chemistry questions, because that's very different from like yes or no questions or just yeah, so I don't know, I guess my feelings are that whatever the teachers may think might be one and the same as what the students think.
Teachers are kind of the main users of the program, I mean, students use it. But I think teachers are the ones who using the tools to try to communicate rather than the students using Blackboard to really do anything except check their grades and maybe do some quizzes.
Spencer, yeah.
Yeah, I will say one thing that just kind of came to mind was like the discussions tab in Blackboard. Whenever like you have an assignment there, like you have to make however many posts a week or just like one post a week. Like it doesn't, for one thing, it doesn't give you, I don't know, like it doesn't tell you when somebody responds to your post. So you kind of just have to frequently check the discussions tab without knowing in advance. So it becomes very redundant, especially if you don't have a response to that. I feel like it would be useful to like implement some kind of, and maybe I brought this up at the last meeting, but implement some kind of like notification feature.
I thought I got emails from somebody who applied.
I don't know. I haven't seen that
Not
personally.
your experience.
Yeah, like every time, for me at least, every time I've had to like check to see if somebody's responding to my discussion board posts, I have to like physically go in there and check. I don't have any notifications that tell me beforehand.
Brian?
I will say, I do receive notifications at the end of every day around 12 AM that illustrate what's happened and what assignments have been graded and such. So I do think you do get notifications. I don't know the nature of which discussion board posts are noted. I do believe that's something you have to check on.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think you do get notifications, but to Spencer's point, it is like jumbled and it's not the best. It's not ideal at least, but yeah. Sharlita?
I do agree that it is really annoying, like having to go back and forth in our discussion, and sometimes, like when my previous classes, you would have to go like further back, like to go, in order to write an essay, like, make a concrete, I don't know, like explanation towards why you feel a certain way, and then you can use examples from yours discussion post, so then like you would have to go really, really far back and look at those replies or like look at what they put in and kind of like cater your essay towards that. And I know that's really annoying. And the whole like being notified if someone like replied to you or not, I know that there's like this tiny little section that shows you like if someone responded to you and it'll say like 3 responses or whatever, but it's like really, really small. And like if you don't know that's there, you're just never gonna see it. So
Yeah, I was gonna say I've never seen that before, so.
Yeah, it's a lot of clicking and you use the word annoying. Yeah, I would agree with that. I want to ask a different question and I'm not inclined in any way we're going this route, but who here would prefer Google Classroom than Blackboard? Brian? Okay.
I'm just a big Google nut, so.
There were some indifferent hands. I wonder like how many other platforms are you familiar with? Like, have you been on, like, did your high school use a different platform? Were you at a different school, like college or university at one point? I'm just curious.
My high school used 3 different platforms for pretty much I was there. We used Trello 1 year, which isn't good for this at all. ClickUp, which also isn't, and then Schoology, which is like very similar to Blackboard in the way it works. And then I also use Google Classroom, which I don't prefer.
Right.
Yeah, just Google Classroom.
Yeah, I'm surprised because I think last time how a lot of people were for Google Classroom, and not to say that GRCC is going back to Google Classroom, but I think some part might be the nostalgia in it. I mean, I use Google Classroom since middle school, since I was like 10. So yeah, personally, I wouldn't want to go back to Google Classroom. I don't think we'll go back to Google Classroom, but yeah, Sharlita.
I'm not saying that I want to go back to Google Classroom either. Like Blackboard is definitely way more, like, I don't know, college friendly, I guess.
Yeah.
But I feel like the reason why some people might want Google Classroom is, first of all, it's like aesthetically pleasing and like all your classes, like you can see all of your classes in one page. Whereas in Blackboard, you see all your classes, but it's just in one tiny section. And like you kind of have to click through everything. And again, it's just annoying having to click through so many things just to go to one post or like one homework assignment.
No, I get your point about the aesthetically pleasing. It's like all like different colors, like things like purple. It's all the colors of the rainbow. Blackboard is just blue and white and then black. So I get that. Yasmina?
I was just gonna say, I'm not really familiar with anything other than Blackboard because I've used it even when I was in high school and then after that. Yeah, always used Blackboard, but it's not like I would be opposed to changing systems as long as the interface is like easy, because if we have to switch and then it's like trouble to learn the interface anyways, it kind of defeats the point since everybody already knows how to use Blackboard. But like if the interface was a really nice one and it made it more user friendly, then that's when I feel like it would be worth it.
Yeah. Brian?
So there's something to be said for how apps are designed to keep our attention and how they're easy to use. It's easy to like access stuff because you can swipe, just tap once and you have everything available to you. With something like Blackboard, there's a lot of friction in how you access things. There's a lot of hoops to jump through to get to the assignment you're looking for. So if we're looking for a UI to use for our classes, we should be looking for something that is not only colorful, right? Because we want to keep students' attentions. We also want something that's not going to provide a lot of friction and is, readily available so we can access assignments like at the touch of a button. Because that's how apps design themselves so that they distract and keep our attention. We should be looking for UIs that do the exact same thing, but set for academic purposes.
Yeah, no, I get that. I remember I'm using Google Classroom, and I mean, obviously I wasn't excited to do the assignments, but it was fun to go to Google Classroom and see. Well, it wasn't fun, it was convenient. Yeah, everything there, and to Ryan's point, it seems like Google Classroom is, well, Google knows what they're doing to keep you engaged. Yeah, to my next question, think about a technology tool you have used in a class or in your day-to-day life that was not a good experience. What caused frustrations? And this isn't specifically the Blackboard, just in general. And I think someone in virtual chat has something to say. Or no, sorry, I'm hearing things. Brian?
I was gonna say that the OneSearch that we have available, there's like a couple different options for it. And then as well, like the OneSearch is very specific on how you write down what you're looking for. Because if I'm looking for a very specific book about economic structuralism, for instance, if I spelled economic structuralism correctly, it'll also give me like put quotes on like structures and like architecture. It's like, no, I need an international relations concept, not an architecture like subject. And there's options that filter for that. But it seems like our OneSearch is sort of, I don't know like exactly how we have it available to us, but it just seems as if though as it's providing information isn't like as readily available. It just seems like sort of like there's throwing as many structure-based or as many economic-based papers as it can at you, rather than sourcing for the things you're most likely looking for. So that's just something I've noticed when I'm like trying to find sources for papers and such.
Yeah, you would say that OneSearch causes some frustration sometimes.
And not so much, well, not frustrated. I don't get frustrated with, UI programs, but it's just like, it's annoying.
Yeah, I get that.
That's the way I describe it, I guess. But frustration is one way to describe it.
Yeah. Anybody have similar experiences? Not necessarily with Blackboard or OneSearch, just in general, your day-to-day life. What's a technology tool that you have not had good experiences with, or have been frustrated with?
I know for me, Online Center, I've been dealing with problems. It might be because I use Firefox. And I think that's why, but like, it only works like half of the time. It feels like, we're like, when I click on the page, it'll go like to this PeopleSoft thing and say like, I don't have access to the page.
Yeah.
Even though, yeah, and then it won't like show like the pie graph with like how done you are and stuff.
Yeah, I've run into that issue too. I'm not sure why that even happens, but it's
I think-
annoying.
Sorry, I think it has to do with cookies, because once I I had to email IT because it wasn't working for weeks, and I needed to get in there, and I would try every day and it wasn't working. And they were like, you need to clear your cache and cookies, and then I did that and it worked, so.
Yeah, I know sometimes going on to like a incognito tab helps, so it might be that.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's frustrating, so thank you. Sharlita?
So I have something that jump off, like this literally just happened yesterday. But I was going into online center and then going into Blackboard for a minute, because that's how I usually do it in my laptop. And it would let me, but it would only let me see a class that one class, not all of the classes that I'm taking during the semester, but only one class that I was no longer taking from a different semester. And it just wouldn't let me, I would log out of online center and then I would log back in. And then nothing would happen, and then I would just restart my laptop, because I was like, okay, maybe something's wrong with the laptop. And again, it didn't do it just didn't let me see all of my Blackboard for this current semester. So I ended up just having to make a full new Google profile on my laptop so it could work for me. And I have no idea why that happened, but
Yeah, Spencer?
I'll also say that one thing that I have found kind of annoying is if you are idle for too long on especially when searching research papers.
Yeah.
But even just in Blackboard in general, it signs you out, and then you have to go through the whole process of signing back in and then getting your phone to find the email, to find the code to put in, and it's a whole thing. So I think, I understand the whole security aspect behind it, but I don't know, I feel at the same time, it's just really inconvenient to be constantly logged out of Blackboard every 10 minutes, because you're back and forth between writing a paper and then going back to view the rubric or whatever it is you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a box that says, remember this device. But for me, it never really works.
No.
So I sometimes I just don't check it because it'll react the same exact way.
Yeah.
Ironically, I'm going through this right this second.
Yeah, I think that's a common issue with everyone, it says you want to be remembered, but you're never remembered. And then also that two-factor authentication. I mean, I get the security reasons, but it's so annoying. It's so annoying to always log in, and then you have to get a code to log in every single time. And even if you want to be remembered, you're not remembered. So yeah, I wrote that down. Thank you.
Especially with devices like your phone, where nobody else is gonna use your phone. So why can't I just have it on my phone?
Yeah. Brian and then Yasmina.
I was gonna say that I know, well, for one, I used a VPN for a while, because I got access to Tor and whatnot for the free textbooks, not endorsed or anything. But there's something to be said. I believe that the remember device, the way it remembers is, I think it's an IP track rather than just a device track, I guess. I don't think it remembers your device as much as it remembers where you are. So if you access your device from a different location than where you remembered it, then I think it just automatically assumes that it's a new location or something.
My computer also does the same thing too, and it's always on the same internet. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it might be an IP thing, but I'm always on my house.
Yeah,
And
I just noticed it, especially when I was using my VPN, because I'd be in Italy, doing stuff, and then it would be oh, you're accessing it from Italy, and it's yeah, I remember my device. It's okay, but you're in the US now. It's yeah, whatever. But there's something about it. It's just whenever you move or something, or just something about, I think if you reset your cookies on your browser, or if you're maybe using an ad blocker, perhaps. There's definitely something going on, because it's supposed to remember that browser that you're using more so than your device, I think.
Yeah, frustrating in general. Yasmina, Michaela, and Sharlita.
So back to the two-factor authentication, actually, this was very rough for me a few weeks ago because my phone broke. So then I was trying to, like, I didn't have a phone for a week while I was waiting to get another one. And I was trying to access the ATC Open Lab because I could not do my assignments without accessing the ATC Open Lab. It does not send the code to your email, it sends it to your phone number only. So if your phone is not working, you're not gonna get the text, and you're not gonna be able to do homework. It's extremely frustrating.
I think there are different options, because I know I use a separate app for my two-factor. So there's different options. I don't remember how to change it, because I haven't done that in a while, but.
Well, even if it was an app, I still wouldn't have been able to, because like, that's on my phone, so I wouldn't have been able to do that. And I did try and change, like I tried to look for email, but specifically when you're accessing the ATC Open Lab only, it sends it specifically to your phone instead of anywhere else, because normally like, it's not a problem, I can just check my email on some other device and. But that was like one thing where I was like, wow, this is really frustrating, and I just couldn't even do my assignments because of it.
Yeah, no, I personally, it's close to my email, but there was a time in which Michaela knows this. We went camping and I went canoeing and my phone dropped in the water. So, I mean, I still, was there someone who?
Oh, sorry, I just said, oh no, I'll mute myself, sorry.
No, my phone dropped in the water and I didn't have a phone for maybe 3 weeks. And that was my main source of getting that code. And it was frustrating because, I mean, my phone is in the water with the seaweed and fishes and all that, but I can't access it. So, no, I get your pain. I feel it.
It's worth noting that Michael pointed out that you do have to sign in every 30 days.
Yes. Okay.
Back to Blackboard, I would say I don't have any frustrations with it. But if anything, I've never used the messages or the tools feature ever. And I remember, my physics professor had said to us one day that he received messages from students, through Blackboard and he had no access to them, or he saw them very, very late, like a semester later late. That was a past experience, previous experience, but I guess if you were to go ahead and modify Blackboard, or I don't know how the process works, but I would say reevaluating the need for the messages feature or the tools feature. Like when I went into tools, it's like content collection, portfolios, and application authorization, and I can't think of any reason that anybody would use, I don't even know what it's are, so that's something to consider as well. It's just kind of.
Good. And you said you sent a message and your professor didn't see it like till the next semester.
Not me, but he was explaining to our class that has happened this semester and last semester, I think, that he said that when he does receive messages through Blackboard, he has to go in and like find them. And they kind of dig through them.
Yeah, I think that connects back to the notification system, in which it's not ideal. It's all jumbled. Shirley?
Yeah, going back to like accessing my center just in general. So I was in Europe for a minute this past summer, and I was considering taking some classes while I was over there. I ended up not doing so, but I also had to write an essay for TRIO to be able to go to this conference. We went to the Sacramento conference, and I was trying to access the stuff to be able to write the essay because the deadline was when I was, flying back home. It was that day and I didn't want to write it in the airplane, of course. So I decided to go in and it just would not let me go in. And I was like, okay, maybe it's because of the application is here. But then I recalled that there's like actual classes. Like I think there's like a Spanish class that used to be held in Spain or something. And they like would learn as they like voyage around Spain or whatever. Yeah. And I was like, okay, since that was a thing back then, And I'm pretty sure they still have Blackboard. Why isn't it letting me go into my Blackboard and accessing what I need to do to get my assignment done? So that was kind of annoying. I know that's like a really niche problem, because not everyone goes outside the US and does homework. But I feel like that should be addressed too, just in case someone does decide to do the same thing that I was considering doing.
So it just wouldn't let you into Blackboard at all?
Yeah, like the online center, I would like put in my password and my username, and it just would not let me, not even Blackboard, just the online center in general.
Well, if you don't mind me asking, like, where were you?
I was in 3 different countries, so I was in Germany, Italy, or Austria and Switzerland.
Yeah, I think that goes back to like the remember me feature, like it needs to be improved. Yeah, that's irritating.
Yeah, it was frustrating.
Walker, did you have something to say?
Yeah, I was just gonna say the create submission thing is horrible on Blackboard. I don't know, I don't have any professor who even like allows to use it, because you can't use MLA formatting, so it serves no purpose, other than maybe for the professors who don't care about that, but if there was a way that you could actually like properly format a paper, I think maybe you could use it, but
I've never heard that before, that you can't submit MLA format in Blackboard.
right, because you can't like center things and then put like double spacing and stuff on that. You can make a PDF and upload it, but at least in my classes, the professor said, don't do that. Yeah.
Cool. Well, not cool, but irritated. But yeah, thank you for your guys' input. We went through all the questions, and I want to move on to this next prompt. I want everyone to be honest, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I think, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I think we're gonna go in counterclockwise and share our feelings about student government. So the next prompt is student government. What can we do better? And basically, I'm asking for direct feedback from students on how student government can improve and represent you better. And the first question is, what would you like to see that you don't see us doing already? And I'll give you some time to think. It doesn't have to be a whole spiel. I mean, it can be if you want to. It can be a word, a couple words, just, I would really appreciate if everyone could say something. So person, I can go first, and then we can start with Walker and go on. What would I like for us to do? I would like to get to know you guys better. I mean, I know our town halls are very professional, if you will, or business, or yeah, that's kind of yeah, I would like to know you guys better. I know I'm not personally the most professional person. When you look at me, I don't think you think I'm the president. I'm not very professional, if you say, if you'd like. Yeah, I know you guys have been coming here. I know Walker, I know Sherlita, I know Michaela, I know Yasmina, I know Tara, I know Spencer. I know you, but I don't remember your name, sorry.
I've only went like 2 meetings.
Yeah. What was your name again? Sorry.
Zoe.
So, I know your guys' first names. I just like to know you guys better. So that's what I personally would like. What was your name again? Hunter. Max.
Oh, I'm Katya.
Nice to meet you, Brayden, Kevin, David. Thank you for coming. That's what I'd like. I'd like to know you guys better. Walker.
Sure. So I guess I think student government is actually very good, but one criticism is that it's not very representative. It's sort of kind of operate like a committee, like obviously the officers are elected, which is fine, but it's sort of just whoever comes up here is our who have a voice. I would like to return to the idea we had a while back ago about finding some way for clubs to be more like in voting representative to their size. We discussed that a while back, but any sort of initiative to make it not just whoever shows up, are the people who, represent the entire student body.
Yeah, I get your point about the representation. For the people who don't know, I was just left alone. I had to pick up the president position. And I'm grateful that Ashley and Nick and Michael still want me to be president. I know I'm not the most, I know I stutter when I talk. I know I'm not the most presidential like, but I'm very grateful to be president. And we do think in the next academic year that there will be voting procedures for these positions. So yeah, to Walker's point, representation, I do see that. I know Hunter, this is your first time, I think.
Yeah, it's my first time.
So maybe whatever you can think of.
I don't know, maybe for those who don't know a lot about chess, since I am president of the chess club, maybe come and play a game in the library. If you have any interest whatsoever, I'll be there. Maybe if I get some of you guys' phone numbers that are interested, that'll be cool. You said you wanna get to know us better. Maybe we can all get to know each other better and maybe over a chessboard.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's, in general, I think we should go to more of your guys' events. You come to our events, and I know sometimes we do go to your guys' events. Sometimes we are busy, but I would like that us student government members go to your guys' event, whether it's SACNAS, chess, arts, standout, fitness, nice rocks. Just, yeah, we're sure make that work. Charlita?
I was thinking the same thing you were thinking, just getting to know everyone a little better. I really like the icebreaker that we started off doing. I know like it kind of, went away, disappeared. But maybe kind of bring that back. And I know there's some of us, that are, I don't know, like shy, or like don't like speaking up but want to still. So I was thinking maybe like making a box where you can like write letters and just put the stuff in the box so that everyone has an input and like, anxiety doesn't get in the way of having their voice heard. So those two things.
Yeah, no, I get that. I struggle with that too, of being shy, even though I'm president. I don't know what to say sometimes. I don't know if you guys see in the beginning, but I'm very quiet. I'm like getting in the zone, and I think it'll help better if I get to know you guys, and I don't think I have to be nervous anymore. Yeah, to the point about the icebreaker, we took that out just because of time, but I mean, I think we could bring it back, make something quick. But yeah, and just so you guys know, Charlita, she won second place in our pumpkin carving contest. It was, if we have time, I'll show you guys at the end, but it was dope. It was like
Okay, yeah,
yeah, it was
that one
dope.
was good. Was it the white?
Yeah.
White guy? That was a good one.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, congrats on that. Michaela?
To Walker's point, it's Walker, right? Yeah, the representation was the largest issue for me since I heard down the line that I don't have a voice, my club doesn't have a voice unless I attend. And I work during Mondays, so I am taking extra time out of my work schedule to be here so that I can operate my club. So, I hope that gets remedied. And to your point as well, I think, making this a less professional atmosphere, to a degree that it doesn't feel so cut and dry would feel more, welcoming.
Yeah, and also to your first point, sorry if you felt that way. It's about that you're not represented or, that you have to be here to get representation. I don't mean for you to feel like that. Yeah, and I know you're busy. I know you're the president. I know you have a lot on your plate, but thank you for coming to this one. You're my bestie, as we address each other in email. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yasmina?
Yeah, I agree with Michaela. This is something that we've talked about because we both worked during this time. I know Tara actually not, like, do you normally work during this time? Or- Yeah, and so like for clubs, it makes sense that we be here. It does make sense, you know, so that we can advocate for ourselves when things come up. But to be considerate of the fact that sometimes you can't, and that doesn't mean that you're not active on campus or that you're not representing your club or doing really hard work for your club, especially if you're newer, it's harder too. Those things, yeah, just taking those things into consideration and, excuse me, also for more representation, I think it would be cool if we sent out like surveys to campus, because we talk with us and we do say that like anybody can attend these meetings, but for the most part, like not everybody is coming unless most people that come are either like in a position in a club. So if we have questions like this, like when we were talking about, and I'm sure that there's already something going on to ask students about Blackboard use. But yeah, student government could put out more surveys and just send them to people's emails. And like, if they don't respond, they don't respond, but that's like a little bit of student feedback, I feel like. Yeah, I guess that's it.
Thank you.
I want to just chip in real quick and say that we are working on building a student survey. We have been asked by the, what is it called, student services, people that gather data on campus, not to just send out surveys regularly.
Okay.
And so we have to like accrue enough questions to send out a survey. But that is definitely a way that we can gather data on campus that doesn't require attendance. And I just want you to know that that's on our radar, is definitely something we do. And also I want to add that it is a requirement for clubs to attend town hall meetings in order to get allocation requests approved. But we have not been sticking to that, as is evidenced just from this morning from the yoga club is not here. They were not able to, you know, represent themselves, and we're still able to approve that. And ultimately, what we want to see is more activities on campus. So it's not so much that we're trying to be restricted, we're trying to be too professional, I guess. It's just, this is the system that we're put in. And I just want you to know that I appreciate this feedback and appreciate you taking the time to come and be here, because we recognize that not everybody is able to join us on Mondays at noon. So thank you.
Yeah, and the next point, I think if you can't come to our town halls, and because I know everyone here is genuinely busy as a student, just being a student in general is busy and stressful and hard. So just send an email to one of us. Can't come to town hall today. No, really, there doesn't need to be an explanation, just like communication is a main key. So yeah, thank you. Sorry, I forgot your name again.
Oh, me?
Yeah,
My name is Katya.
Katya. Okay, I'll remember that.
Yeah.
I won't forget. What do you think student government could?
Just what everyone else is saying. My first interaction with student government was over the summer. You guys are like handing out t-shirts, and that's like the first time I saw you and Ashley. So otherwise, I haven't really seen anything from student government, but I'm also more of like an online student than an on-campus student. So I think having things more accessible online too would be a little better, because yeah, like not everyone is able to meet. Like for instance, my club meets on student campus on Thursdays. I don't have any business on student campus otherwise. So I just don't really come on campus unless it's like the town hall meeting or my club meeting or something like that. So I don't even know how to access the Zoom meeting, honestly. So I think maybe just like more access to not be present in person. But I don't know what that would look like. I don't have any, you know, suggestions. But yeah, you guys are doing awesome. I don't know. I don't have any, but.
No, I mean, no, thank you for coming like in person and being here. And yeah, I'll show you after this town hall, like how to access Zoom.
Okay.
And I was a little complicated with Raider Connect, but yeah, I'll show you.
Yeah, I kind of dug through in order to get it, because I joined, I was watching YouTube, on YouTube, and then I had something to say, but I had to join virtually on Zoom.
Tara?
I agree a lot with what everyone else is saying too. I really like the idea of the icebreakers. I think the first time I came in here, we were doing an icebreaker and that made me feel a little more comfortable because I had no idea kind of what I was walking into or even just a game. And I know for time sake that you cut it out, but I feel like that's still kind of important to do, especially if you want people to kind of have a voice and talk, you know, if they don't feel welcome or if they're shy. I think having some kind of icebreaker where we can at least know names, know something about them, I think that makes people kind of want to be a little more engaging. And I know you guys are still looking for like a treasurer and stuff. Like, I feel like I haven't seen like a push for that. I've heard you guys mention it a couple times during the meeting, but like outside of here, like I haven't heard much of it for the roles that you guys are looking for. So maybe like trying to push to get those roles filled out elsewhere, maybe putting more effort into that. Not that you aren't, but I just haven't seen much of it outside of these meetings. But I also like the idea of having a place for people to like submit and write their thoughts if they didn't get a chance to speak, or maybe after the meeting, they might have thought something that they should have said, but maybe some kind of post discussion or something that people can fill out after a meeting. Or even people on Zoom, like if I had to join a Zoom call on here, like I'm afraid to speak when, you know, if I was on a Zoom call like that, I'd just be too afraid to butt in, so I wouldn't be able to speak. And then I know the clubs being required to be at every meeting is like a new thing to the Constitution. And while I think that's important, I think it might not be realistic, especially for me, because me and Yasmina, you know, we're kind of new to like starting clubs and I'm trying to build a foundation. So I have no one to step in for me yet to be here. And, you know, I want to work at this time. I'm supposed to be working at this time. So I'm kind of sacrificing that to be here, and I'd like to be here, but I'm afraid I'm not going to have any representation or not get my allocation request approved if I'm not here at every meeting. Well, I know the yoga club, she's doing a great job doing events, and, you know, I think that's good that we approved of her because she is doing a good job. And I think, you know, we want events and all that kind of stuff, even if she can't make it to everyone, but I think that's my thoughts.
Thank you. Yeah. I agree with all of what you said. We do our best to promote the treasurer position, but you know, obviously we could do better and promote it more. We actually had an interview this morning for the position. So yeah, we're getting some engagement. And to the point again about the requirement of being here. Yeah, I feel you. I'm sorry that you have to cut your work time to be here, but I'm glad that you're here, and I'm glad that I think you've come here every town hall. If you need help with finding someone else to come, and I know that's harder, it's easier said than done, but yeah, I mean, we're here. If you can't come because you really have to go to work, then let us know. We know you're a supporter, but thank you. Spencer?
So I don't really have anything new necessarily to add. I think student government does a good job overall. I do want to second the whole like getting to know each other better thing, because like I feel like, I mean, I know Zoe pretty decently, and then like other people from Standout, and that's pretty much it. So like, I don't know, maybe like host a few, like it doesn't even have to be anything big. It could just be like, you know, an event where we like all go do something and like have some like team building and that sort of way. I think that would be really cool to just like, you know, become more comfortable with each other, make this more I guess like, it's not that it's not a friendly environment, but like, you know, more comfortable for people who have higher anxiety. I also really liked the idea of like, you know, sharing the love, so to speak, going to each other's events. I think it would be cool if like maybe at the beginning of each meeting or each town hall meeting, we had like a brief rundown of like, all right, here's what's going on for the next couple of weeks and like kind of give clubs the shout out that they could benefit from.
Cool. Yeah, we really only have 2 town halls left in the semester.
That's true.
And I think,
But I mean, like, for the future, you know,
No.
there's gonna be more town halls next
Yeah.
semester, so.
my point was about the 2 town halls. I think in the last town hall, for everyone who's been here, maybe trade social, maybe I'm not sure how our agenda will look at our last town hall, but maybe we can play a game. Maybe we can do something that isn't necessarily student government related, just team building. Because, I mean, we're the e-board, but you guys are our team. You guys are a part of our team as well. And I'd like for you guys to feel like that as well. You guys just aren't, I don't want you guys to feel like you're only here because it's required. I want you to be here because you want to be here and you feel like a member of student government. And I saw that Kim Bud, she put in the Zoom chat that, what about an off-campus get-together? And that definitely could be an option, but you know, everyone's busy and time and schedules and all that, but that's a possibility. Thank you, Spencer. So,
But yeah, I was actually, but yeah, that's a good idea, cause I know, I'm not sure what student government fully does, besides of course, like hold this. But. I mean, yeah, I know a lot of clubs deal with that, with nobody knowing about events. But that's besides the point, but yeah. I think I really like being here because I've learned a bit from my club about like the going-ons of like other clubs and like the other people's allocation requests, kind of to teach what I should do and shouldn't do. So that's a pretty nice thing, but our e-board meetings are going to be cut short because we originally scheduled it for the same time and I know a lot of people in my club either have to like work or go to school or go to class. Also, free food is good.
yeah, that's our next conversation topic after this one, but yeah, thank you for your guys' input. I genuinely appreciate it, and we'll definitely add some additions. And I think to speak to this as well, what can we improve? I think we need to pay attention to the virtual audience as well, since I sometimes forget. So Kim, if you had anything to add as well.
I have a couple things. Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate that. This is my first time being online, so it's worked out very well. I'm actually at work, got to run pretty soon, but I did want to get this in. So thank you so much for remembering us back here. A couple things. What I find really, really appealing when I go to a meeting is that, you know, people like yourself as president and the rest of your team stand at the door and greet people as they come in. That to me just makes a really great impression. Like you have that connection, because other people, other times, they might not even speak up in your meeting. So that's a great time to just make that connection. It may be the only time that you do. So that's just something I thought of. And I don't know if the 2-hour meeting is maybe a deterrent for some people coming to the meeting or not. I don't know if you've thought about like a 1-hour meeting or something like that at certain times, like a 2-hour, then a 1-hour, or 2-hour, 1-hour, or something like that. So maybe people can get in and get out and go where they need to go. And I did say the off-campus get together. Another thing is maybe, I know you already have them out there as Mondays, but maybe that's a deterrent too. Maybe Monday isn't a great day. I know you have to have a set day, so that's why you do that. But I don't know if that's the reason why you don't get a lot of people potentially on a Monday. Don't know. Just thought I'd throw that out there in case you guys may or may not have that conversation. And just, I love the idea of the cross collaboration of groups, because that is when you do that, you're more apt to get people to come to your meetings. That's all I got.
Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah,
you're welcome.
Yeah, to your point about the Mondays, yeah, we end the 2-hour meetings. Last semester, I think it was 1 hour, right? 1 hour on Thursdays. And we found like we got even less people during that day. So we moved it to Mondays, and we've been having good attendance so far. Right now it's a little more intimate, but in our first town halls we had maybe 15 people, 20. So yeah, we moved it to Monday just because of our schedules and all that. Another point, like we're all busy, so we have to move things a lot.
Yeah,
But
that's
yeah, I
true.
like
And I don't mean to say that you need to change it. It was just throwing it out there to at least think about it and be aware of maybe that conversation, at all. So that's all. And I do myself have to get going because I had until 1:30, got to scoot to another call. But thank you so much for allowing us online to have a voice. I appreciate that very much. And I'll be back at your next one.
All right. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much. Have a great day, everybody.
You as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I did, that's a good point. The whole maybe Monday doesn't work for everybody. It might be beneficial to maybe put out a poll or like a survey, to get, especially like for the e-board members of the clubs, like to see which days they can show up, which days they absolutely can't show up. And that way you can kind of get like a good, like, oh, well, a lot of people say they can show up here, but a lot of people also say they can't show up on that same day. So maybe we can find like a middle ground kind of a thing.
Yeah, I think we really just switched to Monday just because it fit our schedule.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but no, I get your point about asking you guys what fits your schedule, and obviously it has to fit ours as well, but.
Just throwing ideas out there. I mean, Monday works good for me,
Yeah.
but obviously not for a lot of other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, like going off of that and kind of when Kim was talking, if you do hold a poll to see what days work for people, I know the town halls meet, every 2 weeks. Could we possibly do like maybe a smaller virtual 1-hour session on a different day on the opposite week? Is there a point, do you think, to meeting on a smaller scale? Kind of like maybe to either update people what happened last time, or maybe, I don't know, I have no idea, but just something else, because like for my club, I'm the only person free at this time. So no one else can really come, and so I'm not feeling the best today, but I wanted to get my voice out here for my club, my request. So I thought it was important to come, but yeah, I think just a different time, more availability would be better too.
Yeah, I mean, we can definitely talk about that. I think it just comes back to like schedules and timing, but yeah, thank you.
Also, I want to explain that we have the town hall meetings on alternating Mondays. And the other Monday, we get together as a group, discuss what was discussed at the town hall meeting and catch up on the individual work that we've been doing and kind of lay out the plan for the next town hall meeting. So we do meet every Monday as a smaller e-board group. And not to say that we couldn't include more students into that, but it's not like there's 2 weeks in between and nothing happens there. We do get together to work on what is discussed here and also the other projects that we're working on. So I'd go to a lot of meetings. I'm hesitant to add another meeting in, because this is the point of these town halls, is to then disseminate this information with the students and get the feedback. So I like the idea of adding more opportunities for feedback. I don't like the idea of adding more meetings just to have more meetings.
Okay,
Just to clarify, you do plan to have 12 team meetings on Monday for next semester as well, right?
yeah. So yeah, if we were to take a poll, it would be just like probably for events and maybe for the next academic year, but yeah, it's set. This time and day is set for this semester, next semester. Yes.
So, sorry, go ahead.
I was about to say, like, is there, cause I know somebody was talking about like having it 1 hour instead of 2 hours or something like that. Could you like organize the information, so like certain more important information is in like the first half, and then the second half is less important stuff? That way,
Yeah,
at the very least, like people who can only stay for like an hour gets the more, cause I know you guys uploaded it on YouTube, so we can watch these. But being here is different experience than just watching it, because you actually get to be heard rather than watching the information. But I was,
To your point, that's why we moved the budget allocation request to the front of the meeting. So that we have, make sure that we take care of all the relevant business kind of in the front half of the meeting. And then the second half of the meeting is more room for conversations or guest speakers, depending on, you know, the different meetings.
okay,
But yes, you're right, absolutely. Making sure that the most important information is in one, like upfront at the, you know, so that people don't have to necessarily come for the whole 2-hour meeting. Was something that we realized right away would be beneficial for anybody who attends these meetings.
I thought, I wasn't sure if you guys did that, but I was thinking you probably, you might have.
Yeah, in our very first town hall, we waited until the end before we voted on budget allocations. And kind of very quickly realized, like, there's a larger need for conversation about spending money than about, like, what do you like instead of Blackboard? You know what I mean? When it comes down to spending money, that's the more important one. So that's why budget allocation has got moved to the front of the meeting. Yeah,
In the case of my group, I know we have a lot of people who have classes right now. So this is different from what we've already discussed, but would there be any way in the future for people to request a certain time for their allocation to be discussed so they could be sure that they would be there? Like, for example, maybe later in the session would be better for them, because right now I'm the only person who doesn't have class during the part of the session that we were at, where it's voted on. Potentially, if someone could be sure of what time the vote was going to be held, they could actually show up and vote.
yeah,
Or if that's a good vote, or just to defend their allocation request.
yeah, I mean. Yeah, if you have an allocation request and you want it to be reviewed maybe later for the sake of more members there or for more assistance, probably shoot us an email or leave it in the allocation request form.
Well, it's not all present.
So yeah, well, in the future, if you have another allocation request, maybe we can implement that, like. But it also does like conflict with like. If we do want to have allocation requests in the beginning. And we have some in the beginning and some at the end, it kind of mixes it up, but no, I mean, I hear you, and I think with special cases, we would be able to do that, so. Yeah, so on our last conversation topic, this is very quick, very, very fun, it's for our next. Yeah. For our next town hall, we do have a guest speaker, so with guest speaker events, we usually try to get catering and food. So we want to hear what you guys want to eat. I know usually we've just been getting pizza and all that. So yeah, if we could go, starting with Walker, maybe saying favorite food, favorite, or what do you want to see? And then it just very quick, and then after that, we can move on. I think cookies are limited. Cookies limited. Surely does.
My favorite food is pupusas.
Who says?
Oh, shoot. Oh, subs. I love subs. Love me a good sub. Not pizza, that's overused. What was on the list, the agenda list, barbecue?
Yeah, I think it's actually kind of important that we stick to the campus dining menu.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. that's
So the
awesome.
options are taco bar, barbecue, pulled pork, or pizza. There are other options. For the campus dining, the menu is available on Raider Connect.
I want to say that not all of us can eat pork, so.
Right.
it's dependent.
There will always be a vegetarian option, when we provide food at these meetings. It's not pork specific, but it's.
I think for tacos next time. Yeah.
Tacos.
Maybe.
Okay. Jasmine.
Yeah, tacos is fine. Yeah, I'll be Michaela.
Katya.
The pulled pork is cool.
Like chips, like just small, like grab and snacks.
Spencer.
If it's between tacos, pizza, and barbecue pork, I'm gonna have to go with tacos.
Zoe.
I mean, I'm worried about mess. That's why I was thinking pizza, but tacos are pretty cool too. I mean, they're a bit messier, but
We could make that into a vegetarian thing too, just put like beans and rice and things like that.
That's true.
I don't know if they have vegetarian tacos for catering.
I think they normally do beans, eggs if you ask for it. That I've seen. Like it comes with, it's a buffet style, so there are options, but can be intentional, of course.
There's a meme that says, it's okay if you fall apart, tacos fall apart and we still love them.
Well, it sounds like a lot of people want tacos. So yeah.
If those are our only options, I mean, are there other things we could possibly have from campus dining or?
There are other options that we can explore.
Like hot dogs, hamburgers, pasta, those are off the top of my head, things that they've had in the past. It might be worth approaching them with other ideas at some point, but they would need advanced planning so that they could order it.
Right.
Yeah, it might not be on the menu.
How far advanced?
For something like this, I wouldn't expect it for the next town hall. I don't know their ordering schedule, but just to be mindful, right? Like if they're making an accommodation for something that's off the menu, then it's gotta be with their timing. Yeah, but I think there have been voices over the years just saying like, this is not my palate. This isn't reflective of the student population, so to like, yeah, work together on something. I think it's possible. I've seen it done, but it takes some prior planning.
Yeah, so maybe just in the interest of the next town hall meeting, like, I like the idea of exploring the menu and seeing what other options are there. But maybe just for this next one, we'll stick to.
I mean, I'm not gonna complain if there's tacos in the next meeting.
I would hope that you would not complain regardless of what the free food available is, but also like we hear you on pizza.
For sure.
We're all like, we've done pizza a few times now, like, let's see what else we can get, so.
Okay, well, that being said, thank you for your votes for tacos and pork and just what food you want, but yeah, we can adjourn 14 minutes early, but
Before we adjourn, does anybody have any concerns or questions or things that they'd like to present to us that we haven't allowed room for? Okay, just want to make sure that there's an opportunity for you to use your voice if there's something that you came here to talk about.
well, yeah, thank you for coming once again. It's more intimate this time, but thank you. You guys are OGs now. So thank you, yeah.
Awesome.
Who just- Oh, I think we said
so
two, so I think I
I've been meaning to ask you guys, do you only do your meetings on Fridays?
Right now, because it's this semester, but next semester we're gonna change it, because like not a lot of people can come on Fridays, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You realize